I wasn't gonna make this video, but then I got a few messages, emails, where they were asking me, what do I think about the new announcement that OM-System made with some new gear. So I decided, okay, I'll make a video about it and I will comment some of the stuff that I seen online instead of answering them all separately. So this is the answer for you guys who sent me requests and questions about the new gear. Hi, it's Peter here. And before I continue with the topic, a disclaimer. I've not seen or used these new products from OM-System, so everything I say is based on watching a few videos about the new gear and reading a few articles about it. I'm not going to talk about the quality of how good the lenses are, how good the new camera is, because I haven't used them. It would be ridiculous and very unprofessional to say anything about the quality. I'm merely commenting on the things that I find interesting in those new pieces of gear. And if you're here to listen me to mock OM-System or give some bad things and then you're in the wrong channel, I'm not going to do that. So sorry for you who want to hear something negative. I'm not going to say much negative about this. Of course, there will be some comments about what they should do and all that. But let's get on with it, and let's start with the M.Zuiko 9 to 18mm, and I had to check F4 to F5.6 Mark II lens. Yeah, I think this lens is a good upgrade for the older version. I did use the older version a couple of times, and I had one for a long time loan while I was an ambassador for Olympus and OM-System, and yes, I did use it on my travels a few times, and it was a good lens, but yes, it was very old, so refreshing that lens and making a new version, I think, is a core of OM-System and Micro Four Thirds. It's a small, or supposed to be a small system, and that's their advantage, and I think this lens is a very good addition to that lens lineup. And also think that it's a good thing to have a budget option for 8 to 25 and 7 to 11mm lenses, or 7 to 14, sorry, I think it is, yes. For those lenses, a budget option if you need a small and not so expensive wide-angle, super wide-angle zoom, yeah, this might be a one. But as I said, I haven't tested it, so I can't say anything about the image quality. So I don't order build quality or anything else. That's the only thing. I saw the picture and it looks more like the current lens lineup, because the original 9 to 18 looked a bit different. So yeah, I think it's a good addition and good upgrade for the lenses, and this is something that they should do with other M.Zuiko, especially the f1.8 lenses. That's something that they should do the same thing with those lenses. That could be a good thing to, upgrade them to current standards. And then they made a really interesting lens, or rather, I think it was I always say Sigma. It's Sigma made the lens for them, 150 to 600mm f5 to f6.3. And I think this is also a core thing for OM-System, because it is for wildlife and bird photographers, this lens. It's original, I think it's a full frame lens that is having a Micro Four Thirds mount. And I will get into that later if that's a wise thing to do. So it is a big lens. If I recall, the filter size was 95. I will put the right number over there if I miss or remembered it wrong. But the interesting thing on this is that it's compatible with MC20 and MC14 teleconverters. So it is a 2400mm lens when using with MC20. Of course, it will be a roughly f10 to f13 lens with that extender, so you need a lot of light if you want to, let's say, freeze the action on the sky with the flying birds. You will need, a lot of light, or boost up the ISO on the camera, which is totally fine with this, and especially if you use softwares like Topaz Photo AI to remove the noise, so then it's not a big problem. But yes, faster lens is also usually a better thing in many ways. How do you feel about the lens being made by Sigma? I think it's a business-wise a good move. Why would you make a lens from scratch when you have already something in the market that's available for you, and you will save a lot of money in R&D and use a good existing lens that can be modified to your needs, and this time Micro Four Thirds. So I think it's totally fine to use this type of business model where you make or rebrand some other manufacturers' lenses, and I think it's totally fine. I don't see any problem with that. I think it's like I said, business-wise, because it's not all about kind of like expanding your market share. It's also about getting better profits from the existing customers. And this is what I said in Rob Treck's live. If you haven't seen the 6th annual, or is it there? I don't know. Anyways, somewhere. The 6th annual live meetup with Micro Four Thirds photographers. And that's exactly what I answered when Rob Treck asked me what Micro Four Thirds, OM System, and Panasonic should do to increase their market share. And it's not always about increasing it, it's also making better profit with the existing customers. And I think this lens could be one. And also, as I said, it's a wise move to have these long lenses for the users of OM System cameras, because that's their target audience. So in that sense, I think it's a good addition. And again, I can't say anything about the image quality. I know that if you use the MC20, it will make the image quality a bit less than without it. I know that because I made this video about the comparison with MC14 to MC20. So for a fact, it probably will decrease the image quality, but how much and does it really care is another thing. But I think it's a good lens added to the already pretty massive lens selection that OM System has. And then OM-1 Mark II, which was also launched. It's 2 years ago OM-1 was launched, and I used it for a year and a half, almost a year. Yeah, a little over a year, and really enjoyed the camera. The only reason that I got rid of them and switched to Fujifilm was the video qualities, but a bit more about that later. And I will not get into the details of all the features. There are plenty of videos for you to watch, and I don't know them all, and I haven't tested it, so I can't really say anything about it. But there's one thing about the rebranding of the camera. It is rebranded OM System, so it doesn't say Olympus anymore. And the reason for that, what the rumors say, is that the right to use Olympus brand is coming to an end, so they need to rebrand everything to OM System. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. At some point they need to do that, because having two brands is not very good, and not very cost effective. You have to have one brand, and that's it. And I think OM System is a good brand. While they made the brand change, they also added new features, and there's probably some new hardware, because, for example, the buffer size is bigger. The camera is supposed to be a bit faster, even though it has the same processor and the same sensor, which I don't think is a problem. It was introduced 2 years ago, so using that same sensor is totally fine. Yeah, of course, there are available 26 megapixel sensors and even larger sensors, or not larger, but more megapixel sensors, which could be used, but not sure if that's a wise thing to do. I think it's totally fine. I did not have any problems with the image quality or the sensor itself, or 20 megapixels. I think it was totally fine. But the most interesting new feature, which is also in line with the target audience of the camera, is the Gradual ND filter built in, and that's kind of things that I hope they would make more, because a Gradual ND filter is a filter that where you put on top or on the top part of the image, or the top part of the image, so that it will darken the sky. If you're landscape photographer, you know what I'm talking about. The forest and the foreground might be a lot darker than the bright sky, and if you have an ND filter, you can even up the difference, because sometimes it's just too big of a difference. And having that built in is genius, and you can adjust it. And I will link Jimmy Cheng's video from Red 35, because he explains it very well. I think it was around 9 minutes of the video where he was talking about the Gradual ND filter, and he has very good examples. So after you watch this, check out Jimmy's video about the new gear from Olympus, or actually about the camera. And it's not Olympus, it's OM System. And then the human recognition AF. well, nothing spectacular about that. Many other cameras have it, and OM system have had it before. But there are two things. It has been improved, which is always a good thing, and then it has been put in the same place where other subject recognition options are. So it's usability thing, and putting it there makes a lot of sense. It's a lot easier to get access to different subject recognition, and now human recognition AI is part of that, so you don't have the face priority anymore. I guess I haven't seen. Maybe they have it still, but most likely not. So this makes a lot of sense, and it's been improved, which is always a good thing. I never really had any troubles with OM1 with the AF, but yes, improvement is always a good thing. What do you think about these improvements? Is that something that you might buy the new camera and upgrade your OM1 Mark I to Mark II? Are those things enough, or are there some things that I did not mention that might make you open your wallet? Please let us know in the comments down below. And then, what would I have liked to see? Well, the thing is that the camera market is not actually growing. It's more like shrinking, and getting a bigger piece of that or making better profit is a key to survive. And one thing that they should do is to improve the video features. I've said this many times. I said it back when I was an ambassador for them, and I talked about that with them all the time, that is crucial. And they probably know it, but they just don't want to do it because they're concentrated on the nature and all those photographers. And yeah, it's totally fine. But there is a big market for videographers. Making a vlog-centric or video-centric camera would make a lot of sense, and that would attract more audience. I don't know if they're going to make it. I hope they do faster than never, because I think it's crucial, even though I'm not an expert on camera markets, but that's something that I presume is going to be a crucial thing for them, and I hope they do it. The reason that I switched from OM1 to Fujifilm was the video features. There are certain things that I need, and OM system wasn't able to deliver on that. Sorry to say, because I really like OM system cameras and I would love to use them. But yeah, what do you think of all this? Please let us know in the comments down below. And here is some more content for you to watch. It's about why I switched from Olympus or OM system to Fujifilm. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.